Okay. Here's a little patch that I was able to get done. This is one that I did not apply fungicide to. You see them, I'll show you a few piles. The poly on the bottom of the head was kind of catching. It was kind of bent down on one corner, like right under the sickle bar, or the wobble box, right where the where it bolts onto the sickle. It was kind of bent down, and it would kind of grab the straw here and just kind of make piles. There's like a big pile right there. But other than that, this field was pretty. It was dirty as heck, really dusty when I did it, but. And here's my wonderful cornfield that the cows had to do a yield check on. So it's got a little bovine damage, but oh well. It's not like it's worth $7 a bushel now, is it? So damage isn't very high. So now we're on the Nebraska Interstate. The Ag Wild Interstate here, which is actually this is a road, believe it or not, but it's actually in a lot better shape than even a week and a half ago, 2 weeks, because I wonder how that ear of corn got there. Oh, I did some of these over here. Of course, that's where the Sudan grass was and stuff, and I did part of this field. This also got fungicide, and they were just getting, as I was working my way down the hill, they just got greener and greener and greener, and I finally just said, I'm quit, and I went somewhere else. So, anyway. Get the newspapers out of here, and you can see some bumpy. There's been a lot of traffic on this little stretch here in the last 2-3 weeks. And I'll show you what's going on. They keep making that wider and wider, them guys. Can't you lift your stuff up? Alright, I'll show you my Well, the only way you can get soybeans out here in the pasture is if you drag something through the bean field. God damn. It makes me mad, but what's going on here is there's going to be a new transmission line going through here, or a wind farm. A whole bunch of them giant wind turbines are going to be up here. And I think there's going to be a giant post right there. And so if you look, oh, here must be the grounding rods. Look at here, copper. Is that solid copper, or is it just a pipe? Solid copper, look at that. Don't show the meth heads that, they'll be out here. Wow, look at that. They just wired this all together, this big rebar. I guess you can't weld it. I don't know what these wheels are on here for, what the purpose of that is. Well, that's pretty big. That's gonna hold a giant. They're gonna dig a big old hole, stick this big structure down in there. That's probably inch rebar. Stick this big structure down in the hole, fill it full of concrete, and put a giant post on it. Oh man, then they gotta just run over this stuff. And here's the, I think this is what's gonna be on the upper end. It's probably gonna go right in the middle of that. Goes right down that hole. And this must be 1.5 inch rebar. That's pretty big stuff. Big nuts. see here. Rough handling during shipment could damage this cluster. Accepted final. Trinity Meyer Utility Structures. Any crop damage you're getting reimbursed for, but come on, couldn't you just wait another 10 days? That's what's irritating. But they went through this, and there's a cornfield over there they drove right through. But these have gotten fungicide on. These were the exact same beans that I showed you on the other side of the hill there. Not this field. See that field there? Not that one. Over the hill. And those were bone dry. There wasn't a leaf to be found. And you look at these. Lots of green in there yet. But the beans are probably... Look at the stems. See, look at here. See how green that stem is? Drawbacks to fungicide, I guess. But the beans look really good. Except for where they drove. Dang it. But, oh well. I know they reimburse you, but it's just too bad you couldn't have gotten it out of here before they showed up. Here, there's some growing already, coming back. So I believe there's gonna be a big old post like right in this area here. Probably gonna have to take that tree out. Somebody is. And they gotta get cement trucks in here somehow. And it takes a lot of cement to fill a hole that holds that thing. I was gonna look at that copper. That must go all the way to the top, huh? There's that copper line in here. Oh yeah, here's the end of it. So must be gonna attach onto something else. I assume that's the ground for lightning. And then they got it down here with a big old heavy ground rod. That's a big long. So anyway, the problem they got here is they needed to get in here with their equipment, but they just took the dirt out of the field so that they could. And now any old Mr. Cow can go right under that. That's quite a ways, but I'm gonna have to put a little dirt back in the gate. That side too. Anyway, that's what's going on up here. Get the gate shut. Later.